Taivaan paistai laso taivi. My name is Marina Herlop. I come from Barcelona and I have a project in which I make experimental music. He was my name. The first two albums were made with piano and voice, and this was not an artistic choice. It's because they were the only tools I really had. So when I was going to make the third album, I followed the same process. I grabbed the piano and tried to make some harmonies, and I was finding harmonies and melodies, and it was like, oh, this reminds me of my own music. It feels like a copy of the other albums, and I felt that those tools had come to their end for a while. Like when we were recording the second album, I was there with the guy who recorded it, with the engineer who recorded it, and I was looking at all the process. So I kind of learned the basics, but I understood that it wasn't like with the basics you can work a lot. It's like this thing that we use the 15% of our brain, but with the 15% of Ableton you can actually make a lot of music. It was a process that went through a lot of stages, you know, to pure joy and euphoria, because it was like, wow, like this has a bass now and this has a kick, and it was a totally new experience, from moments of frustration of saying like, wow, I've been all day listening to these 4 bars and I don't know what to do with. There's like 95 tracks here. What am I doing? So yeah, it was a very chaotic process. When I started producing music with a computer, I thought that there was like this eagerness of adding things, because you know, from going to the piano and voice, it's like, wow, now I can add tracks for free, you know, it's free to put as many as you want. So, and now I'm trying to subtract, to keep what actually, especially when I make a song now, I try to understand which is the main theme, the important information there. And I try just to have one thematic idea, and then other things come, and some of them stay, but some of them I say, no, you're gonna be another song, or you don't have space here. When you've not been trained in something, you find problems that you have to solve. It's like, you listen to a song and it's like, I don't know what is going on here, but there's a problem. There's too much information or too many instruments, or this part, the song goes down, you know, and you have to invent and you have to imagine. In Miu, there's some conical influence. 2 years ago, I did like a little course in Superior Music School of Barcelona, in which I studied. I have little notions about it. When I started studying it, I was really fascinated. It was like the new toy, you know, and I started to make these syllables to find melodies, and then just the Carnatic syllables stayed there because it sounded natural. I think Occidental music has a root based in rhythms subdivided in 4 quarters, but Indian music and Eastern music, they opened this door to other subdivisions, especially 5 and 7. They are really appealing, and it's nice to find music that has this subdivision but still feels natural. Like, not do it as an exercise that you want to do as a goal. What I studied reached a level of complexity much bigger than what appears in the music. What appears in the music is like kindergarten of what it gets to. It's really complex and really fascinating, because then these subdivisions combine each other, and so you have a subdivision in 5, and then you have another in 3, and then the rhythm that it creates, it's really infinite and very interesting. When I started making music in the early years, all I thought about was harmony, because I think that harmony really gets to you. As time goes by, I'm getting actually more interested about rhythm, or well, about their combination. What rhythm expresses just by itself, it's the root of music actually, it's the core. The first album I recorded didn't have any lyrics because I was honestly too lazy to put lyrics in them. When I was finding the melody, I just went like blah blah blah, and when we had to record them, it felt kind of fake to put some imposted lyrics on something that I really didn't want to express anything or talk about my story or anything. So, and then I got interested about this thing of not putting lyrics and of seeing what sounds can express by themselves if you subtract the meaning. And I tried to find certain sonorities that expressed something in particular. Now, in the last songs I made, I actually put lyrics in them because I did have a story to explain. In the last songs I made, I was inspired by the concept of a garden. This is a bit abstract, but understanding the garden as the space that you get in when you start a creative process or a new craft that you do. It's like when you start creating or dedicating your time to art, you enter this new space that presents itself as some wild space, and you at the beginning feel overwhelmed by it because you slowly understand that you are not free to do whatever you want. At the beginning there's like a sweet honeymoon in which you make an album and think, wow, I can make an album, and then you realize that there's a lot of rules, there's a lot of archetypes, and so you have to study those things and investigate those things, and then after doing that, the music you make is different because you're not thinking about telling your story, you know, you're thinking about this is a craft, this is like a science or something. And then after this period of feeling really like low self-esteem or whatever, then you feel like, okay, I'm no one here, I'm really insignificant, but I'm still going to do something with my surrounding. And this is like what a gardener does. The gardener doesn't go there and say, oh, I'm going to do whatever I want with this field because there are some plants that will grow here. You have to understand the environment to actually create or give a shape to the space. So I feel the musician or the artist, the composer, does the same. Like they understand what has been done before and they understand their present time, and based on that, they make the music.